What up, Reject Nation? Greg and John here with our friend Ace, our Star Wars expert. Literally, he's filming with us so late at night when he has a Star Wars panel to do at Celebration. So thank you for being here, buddy. If you haven't watched our episode 1 reaction, that's up here on the channel. I'm here for episode 2. Ace, where can they follow you?
Oh, you can follow me at Squad Leader Ace on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow my YouTube channel at First Cut.
He's got like an Adam Driver voice. I love it.
Yeah, it's something like that. I wish I had an Adam Driver everything.
Yeah.
Give me that Adam Driver hype.
Amen to that.
And look.
Guys, full-length watch-alongs for you super sexy rejects over at our Patreon page. Cover a whole bunch of shows. We're at the same tier. You get the option for reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. If you don't want to do that, leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. Also, subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when our next reaction for Obi-Wan is up here on the channel. Thank you to the Prepper Boys for helping us edit down these highlights. And lastly, thank you to Headspace for sponsoring this video. They have a special Star Wars theme going on. Headspace is a meditation program. It's like, yeah! And
raise the roof and get some Headspace.
So Headspace was the first thing I started using years ago that got me into meditation. Still meditate to this day. So excited to be partnered up with them for Mental Health Awareness Month. But more on them right after the reaction. Let's do the reaction. There's one thing Disney Plus has brought us is airports and the Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has such a Hong Kong aesthetic.
It is. It's cool though. Very cyberpunk.
If ever I needed guidance, Master, it's now.
Spare any credits.
Oh!
That's tomorrow.
Oh!
What?
Oh my god! Rex?
Can get a warm meal.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Is it really Rex?
You'd think Rex would recognize him, right?
Right?
It's at least Tamora Morrison, though.
Okay, it might just be a random clone then.
Yeah. Who's not affected by Order 66.
But it's the it's the 501st.
Want some spice, old man? I got Kessel, Pure, Glitter Stem, and Felution.
Nice.
How about some information?
I thought he was gonna say you don't want to sell me spice.
There's a Jedi. He helps people.
The Jedi are all gone.
I'll take you to him. For the right price.
For the
You
right
want some spice, kid?
Yeah,
It's okay, you're
where's
safe
Destix?
now. I won't let anything happen to you.
Okay, so Kumail is a Jedi.
Jedi, huh?
I'm sending a mother and son to your gate. You will let them through when they arrive.
I'll let them through when they arrive.
I'm not leaving your mind.
Okay.
Okay.
You're a fraud.
It's all there.
Oh, you didn't have to.
That's a great scam though.
I'm looking for a Jedi. A girl has been kidnapped. I need your help to find her.
500 to locate the girl, another 300 to take you to her.
Goodness, that light is unforgiving.
What do you know of the Force, my friend?
Just that there's a lot of remotes and magnets. You're gonna help me find this girl I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Walter White action.
Undercover Kenobi. Kenobi undercover.
Breaking Kenobi.
Breaking Kenobi.
Kenobi, we have to cook.
Just breaking.
What are you doing back here?
Ooh, it's his. Ooh, come on, man.
Spikes on his hand. Damn.
Leia.
Can't be that easy.
It's a decoy.
You're not a Jedi anymore, Kenobi. You're just a man.
You're bleeding all over my floor.
Everybody bleeds.
Smart. Like how they just watched him. They're trying to stop him.
Let's see how this one plays out.
I did like Flea's scene there a lot more.
Here you go.
He was much better.
Wait!
Let go of me!
Wait!
She's so little.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna get you out of here.
Why should I trust you?
Would you rather stay here? Keep your head down.
It would have been easier with the army.
There is a port across the city. We need to make the last transport. You have no idea what I'm risking being here, Your Highness. From now on, you'll do exactly as you're told. Do you understand?
It's the first time we've seen her really scared.
This is cool. This is really cool. It's also her first time off Alderaan, huh?
Yeah.
Whatever power you are craving, it will not change what you are.
I brought Kenobi here.
You will be dealt with when we return.
Once I've taken credit for all your hard work.
She's trying to link up with Vader.
Mm.
That's what he implied right there.
Mm-hmm.
Saying you want to get to the higher power.
Oh
You
my
really
God.
think those scum can catch a Jedi?
I want them to squeeze him. He'll reveal himself eventually. And I will be waiting.
Very much a John Wick episode now.
It's literally
really
John Wick
is.
too.
Yes.
Where's Commandant?
Literally everyone on Dayu is a bounty hunter.
Put this on. The little green cape. You don't need those. And the gloves. If anyone asks, we're farmers from Tall, and you're my daughter.
Granddaughter, maybe.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, you're a little smart-ass, Leo. That kind of attitude's gonna get Alderaan blown up, you know that?
Why aren't you using your lightsaber? Maybe it's because you're not really a Jedi. I read that Jedi can make things float. Make me float.
Oh my God.
I mean, she's a little girl.
Pick the best time to act like it.
You think the less you say, the less you give away. But really, it's the opposite.
How old are you?
10.
You don't sound like you're 10.
I was thinking the same thing. He's like, why do you talk like a full-grown adult?
Nothing like precocious kids. You're way smarter than that Luke kid I've been watching.
He just pretends to pod race.
Yeah.
All he says is, now this is pod race.
We had him. Look at this reward.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
This is with the girl. He'll have half of the city on him now.
Let's get to him first. Make sure the port is shut down. I want a garrison here.
I'm kind of hyped for this, man.
It's no ordinary Jedi.
I was gonna say-
Kenobi is the last ember of a dying age. Extinguish him.
Obi-Wan is considered to be like one of the greatest
Yeah.
fighters. So taking him down like a bunch of bounty hunters would be.
They don't know how rusty he is, though.
That's true. That's true.
I really love the look of this episode.
Yeah, it's.
Really love the look of it.
There's a little Sin City sprinkled in here too.
It is, yeah.
What is that? You did lie.
Leia.
That's what you were hiding. You're the reason I'm here. They took me to get to you. You aren't a Jedi.
Your father is a very old friend.
I don't believe you.
Leia.
Leia!
Make her float.
Just one little.
Yeah, just the wave
Yeah.
of the hand. Jedi mind trick.
Wait!
On a child.
Maybe don't run around the city with your hood down, Obi-Wan.
It's Pearl. It's the Pearl. Just tell us where it is.
Oh, wow.
No! Leave me alone!
Careful, you run right into Reva.
Free running time.
Parkour!
Oh, damn.
Daredevil.
Force core. Love the subtle sound designs on her jumps.
My man. Oh, wow.
She's pretty badass, man.
No! Don't let go, Leia. Hold on tight.
Use the force, man.
Leia, no! No!
Come on, man.
Come on. Save Gwen.
Great catch.
Yeah, he is rusty.
Oh, it took the wind out of him.
Yeah, wow.
He got downstairs remarkably fast.
He just floated down the other side.
Jedi Speed Force.
You really are a Jedi.
We need to move.
I love it. He's slowly becoming a Jedi again.
The entire city's locked down. It's done. You need another exit. It's a cargo port. It's fully automated. They won't be looking for you there.
What?
Expect me to trust you. You're a criminal.
Look, have I made a few bad decisions? Sure. Do I feel bad about it? Sometimes. Do I like credits? Yeah. There's so much stuff you can buy with credit. Go to these coordinates. They'll help you from there.
Where is he?
Oh, what they cut off?
There goes Flea.
Damn.
Hopefully just a hand.
I am Haja Estri, Jedi.
Where is he?
What did you ask? You know what? I'm not gonna answer it.
I don't need you to.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That was a bad plan.
Gotta practice occlumency,
I'm
Harry.
just glad they didn't kill off Kumail.
If somebody is offering us help, I think we should take it. Now come on. What now?
Nothing, you just remind me of someone. She died a long time ago.
Satine.
I'm sorry.
Satine. That's a really good connection, though, between Satine and Leia.
But they were talking about Padme.
Oh, it could
Have
be
a little bit
could
of
be
both in
Padme.
there. It's designed to make us have this chat.
Obi-Wan.
If I don't get back in time, go. I'll be right behind you, I promise. Go.
Let's see how rusty he is. Because he should be able to cook her.
Ignite it.
Come on, my dude.
You don't have to worry. You're not going to die today.
They do make those sabers really imposing.
Lord Vader will be pleased. You didn't know.
No.
He's alive, Obi-Wan.
Ah, so yeah, he didn't know. Okay.
Anakin Skywalker is alive.
God, his performance is so good.
I found him. We have him.
And I cannot risk you losing him again. Move aside.
Guys are like arguing children.
Watch and learn.
This dude's like the crappiest man in the
What?
Whoa!
Really think I'd let you take all the credit?
Damn.
Oh, I wonder how people are gonna
What
feel
about
about
Rebels?
Can't find Obi-Wan! We will find you!
What is it?
Your dad. He's alive.
Are you okay?
Just having PTSD. Just a moment.
Anakin.
Whoa! Oh, damn! Whoa! Gnarly.
Ugh.
God, that doesn't make you want to tune in for next week.
Menacing.
Yeah.
Menacing.
Dude, Ewan McGregor is perfect. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
Can't believe the Grand Inquisitor is permanently dead.
I was gonna say, if you listen
Excited
hard
to
enough,
bring him back for Rebels.
you can hear the fans freaking out.
To die again.
I just started Rebels, he does. Just joking.
What are you guys talking about?
It's the first season.
Flea! Justice for Flea!
Justice for Flea!
He's gone.
Get him a robot hand, I hope, assume.
I think it's his face, man.
They cut his face off.
Yeah.
I don't know, his hips were a little forward.
So one of the Inquisitors just has a necklace made of severed members.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Because he's in that heavy makeup.
It's cool they put him in the actual makeup.
Yeah.
Eventually Darth Vader's gonna gain a bunch of weight.
I want to see the series about that.
Instead of seeing him Return of the Jedi.
Natalie Holt is the composer.
We should give credit to Natalie Holt.
Natalie Holt.
Did she do Loki, right?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, I think so. Good memory on you.
Yeah. She's great.
Did she do Chernobyl too, or is that a different composer who is also...
Not sure.
If only we could access...
No, it's a mystery, dude. It's lost to the ages.
I felt like the Loki score was definitely my favorite, though.
Yeah.
Your favorite Star Wars score is the Loki score?
Yeah, man.
Of the Marvel shows.
That was a really great episode. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah,
that was
let's
great.
do it, man.
All right, we're mic'd up. We're
We're professional.
So we're going to be talking about this. I'm excited to get your thoughts. I'm half excited to get your thoughts.
You know, you can hear my thoughts anytime.
But I'm most excited to share my thoughts because I'm a narcissist. Anyway, guys, yeah, we're going to hop into this with better audio. But before that, a word from our sponsor who, again, very honored to be partnered up with them because Headspace really helped change my life. We want to thank today's video sponsor, Headspace. Now, you guys might have heard me say from time to time that I meditate regularly, and it all first started with this app, Headspace, and it's an app that I know John actually uses regularly now. Thanks to me!
Right, it's all your fault.
And so for this month, they have partnered up with Disney Star Wars for your Find Your Force Mindfulness series, which I think actually works in conjunction with the Way of the Jedi so well. Literally, meditation has changed my life. I can confidently say Headspace is a major contribution to that factor, so I'm excited that we're finally partnering up with them, especially considering it's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Plus, it's perfect timing because we got a ton of new Star Wars content on the horizon, and with their Find Your Force series, they have sleepcast, breathing exercises, and guided meditations from some of your favorite Star Wars characters, including Yoda, Chewbacca, R2-D2, the list goes on.
You know, I've opened up about my prior diagnoses in the past. The most helpful thing has been meditation. It's something I very much heavily encourage. One step closer to feeling like a calm, confident Jedi.
So if you want to download Headspace and find your force today, head on down to our link in the description box, download the app, and get meditating. Do some deep breathing. Hang out with Yoda.
In all sincerity, it is pretty cool to be partnered up with an app that I can sincerely say helped change my life. It's
I use every single day legitimately.
Like, I really mean that when I say that.
For years before they contacted us, yeah, I was just like, oh, really? You guys want to work with us? That's crazy.
Yeah. Ace, why don't you kick it off, man? What's the first thing you want? We'll kind of like combine a little, maybe, kind of bleeding over from episode 1. Not Phantom Menace, you know, episode 1 of this. But
yes.
Yeah, I mean,
we could do both. We could do Phantom Menace.
Would you? Yeah, why not? Why don't we review all the prequels and then go into this? Let's do the whole thing since it's a big package. Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking of? What are you thinking of the show so far?
I'm really digging it, man. I mean, to me, it's trying to set everything up for one story, and I kind of I mean, obviously we talked about the bait and switch back in episode 1 with the whole Leia thing, but I like that being the initiating point or the startup point to kind of take us, to kind of take us where.
I loved your reaction there. Yeah, hold it closer, please.
Smart idea.
Thanks.
I like that being the starting point to where we're headed, which is eventually a confrontation with Vader, obviously, between Obi-Wan and Vader. Him finding out that Anakin is alive and Anakin is Vader. They're all together in one, and that this is all a setup for him to be, confronted with that failure. So I like where we're going. There's obviously some things that I'm a little, questioning, eyebrow raising.
Like what?
I feel like I'm not sure about Reva. I mean, to me, it's more like
the character or the actor.
It's not even. I think it's the character, because to me, it's more like we get a little bit of backstory, as far as a hint at a backstory, with the Grand Inquisitor telling her that she belongs somewhere else. So there's hints at a potential connection between her and the Jedi and something like that. But to me, the final scene with her killing the Grand Inquisitor, even though we know obviously that he's in Rebels, and then her saying that Anakin is alive and he's Vader, kind of, I don't want to say rubbed me the wrong way, but kind of made me go, huh? Because
it did for me too. Because
to me, it's always been. It's not necessarily like everyone in the Empire knows, like, oh, that was Anakin. He used to be Anakin back in the day. Like, people don't.
You guys know each other. You were his buddy.
Anakin. Look at him now. He's Vader. He's bossing us around. Friggin' Vader.
Can you talk to him for us?
But it's not a well-known thing. You're not supposed to know that. Like, that's supposed to be like a Luke, Obi-Wan kind of thing for
inner circle.
Yeah.
Friends and family, we call that.
It's a little club of people who know. Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, from my knowledge, I don't feel like that's supposed to. Anakin is dead. Like, he's dead to everyone in the galaxy. And Vader is a completely different person.
Well, I mean, I think what they're also doing is sort of transitioning Anakin, even though it's been 10 years, right? 10 years?
Yes.
That they're still transitioning Anakin into full-blown Darth Vader, because Reva specifically cites that she's looking, that Vader's been looking for him. So I imagine that maybe Vader or Anakin is still there. Because by the time you meet him in episode 4 and stuff, he's just full-blown Vader. He's not Anakin anymore. So I imagine that he's probably wants a little bit of revenge for what's happened to him and his kids. They probably blame, I don't know exactly what his motives are, but to bring Hayden Christensen back and not just a guy in a suit to get James Earl Jones to be imposing Vader, I feel like there's got to be some type of emotional grudge that he holds against him. And so I think there's still a bit of a transition, but I don't know why you would open up to Reva or whatever, or something, or who Reva really is. Honestly, there are times where they're acting that I don't fully buy. It's really when she's getting like hyper aggressive or yelling that I'm like, it just don't sound believable to me. The thing that makes me the most uncomfortable too, honestly, is sliding someone's acting. I feel so, because acting is such a vulnerable thing, and you got all these people looking at you and watching you when you're filming and you're putting yourself out there. So I actually get really uncomfortable saying that. I have a hard time believing her in not every scene. There are some scenes I think she does a really great job in, but there's also quite a bit where I'm like, yeah, I don't really buy you. So that's my weirdest issue with Reva. I think with Grand Inquisitor, what you were touching on, that's something I think should have been earned late. That moment should have been earned in like a later episode. Not that I want to just start talking about negatives, because there's a lot I love about this. There's so much I love about this. But yeah, with the Grand Inquisitor, it's like, that's something that a moment like that should have been built up better, as opposed to them like bickering like children for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then you do that, and it kind of is undercutting like his, from the very first scene he had, she kind of just undercuts him. And I get that's their dynamic, but then to do like fake out death, if you haven't seen Rebels, fake out death, that something about that just didn't feel like earned in this moment. It is more of like a
Well, it makes you wish you could see a little more from Reva's perspective if they're gonna do that, because I feel like in one breath it kind of builds up her menace and her ability, but I feel like if we maybe could see a hint.
It doesn't build up the Grand but we don't. This is the Inquisitor for the first time for a lot of people.
Yeah,
so
it is for me.
Yeah, so it's like what makes the Inquisitor grand? You know, like,
yeah, he's just got an attitude.
His speeches and his voice.
He's just got the title, and the title is the scary part.
It's the way he speaks.
Yeah, if we could see into, and I know you don't have all the time to do all the things, but if we could see more into their friction and their dynamic and what really motivates the two of them, see the Grand Inquisitor and why he is to be feared the way he is, and then get that, I think it would work. It made me intrigued to see what I can only imagine. It suggests to me that she and Anakin must have some kind of connection. He must have entrusted her with this. And so in that moment, it didn't really vex me that she would give out that information, because it seemed like, okay, there's a reason why the show has been so bold about you just not giving a single flip about anything the rest of your team is doing. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed her performance from top to bottom, so I hope that story keeps progressing in an interesting way, because right now it's mostly just been plot.
I like her parkour scenes.
Oh,
very cool.
It was great.
I love the sound design they use on them too. Like to always indicate she's using like force. It kind of reminds me of like the video games when you play as like a Jedi. Yeah. And so
the whooshing sound.
It feels very much like a video game. And parts of her character. You play Jedi Fallen Order, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Who's the villain in that? Not the villain, but the sister in that.
Yeah, Trilla.
Trilla, yeah. There are parts. I don't think it's Trilla who obviously she's not, but there are parts of her character that remind me and the position she plays of Trilla. Yeah. Very much so. I really like. Like I said, it's not always, but there are some scenes that kind of do rub me a little bit wrong with. The thing that's really saving this show for me in every aspect, not even saving, that sounds like the show's bad and it's being saved. The thing I really love about this show, like I thought this episode I liked more than episode 2, but the thing I love most that is most rewarding. It's something that, this was a big letdown for people with Book of Boba Fett, for example. I think this is really the best thing about this show is Ewan McGregor. He is amazing here. And this whole thing with him getting in tune with the Force, again, like so repressed. We talked a lot about it in the last review, but just to reiterate a couple of those points of this man who's just so much in pain and so much guilt, so traumatized by everything that's happened, and he wears that pain so much, and there's such a resistance to things, and he's cut himself off from the Force so much, and it's like him slow as it's kind of like Obi-Wan rising is what's happening here, to the point where he can become like the Ben Kenobi, Alec McGinnis that you see in A New Hope, where he is in tune with the Force. He can do the whole like let us pass, the Force wave thing. He can do all that, but like a good wandering nomad type of character, but not one who's just like just damaged everywhere he walks. So I think that's been great. Thoughts, Ace?
I feel like that's what's great about the show is the show's called Obi-Wan Kenobi, and thank God he's delivering every single time he's on the screen. And it's great because his character has so much there as far as his emotion, his connection to the Force, his disconnect to the Force, his feelings to galactic political issues, to the Jedi. Everything is there as far as the character of Obi-Wan, and I think that is like the biggest selling factor of the show, and it's delivering in every single aspect. So to me, I can look past like a few little nitpicky stuff as far as like Inquisitor drama, and just really focus on this guy who, if anyone has seen Clone Wars, obviously if you see the prequels, you know who Obi-Wan is, and they even kind of hinted at it. I kind of like that little line, and I was talking over it a little bit, sorry, but it was when the Grand Inquisitor said, like, this is Obi-Wan, so like be ready or be on your feet. Like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said like, this guy's different. Like
the fiercest Jedi in the galaxy.
yeah,
man.
like this isn't the Safdie brother Jedi. This is like one of the greatest Jedis ever. Like this guy's like top 3, top 4, right up there with Mace and Yoda. And they even said it in episode 1 with that setup as far as Anakin recalling his line in Attack of the Clones when he said he's as powerful as Master Mace and as wise as Master Yoda. And
the prequels alone, he beats Anakin and he beats Darth Maul.
He cooks him. He cooks General Grievous.
Beats
You know, like,
Grievous.
he kicks his ass. Like Obi-Wan's like a badass, like a straight up badass. Like in the Clone Wars, he fights off Mandalorians, he fights off Maul and Savage, and
I appreciate, like, I watched the movie. I like this like 90s action movie thing of a guy who's been out of the game and forced to get back in and has to protect little girl. You know, like it's such like a I know
professional.
a lot of it's not even just a 90s action thing. It's a very common action storyline of a guy pulled back into the field and he's protecting a kid. You know, like that's a very common action storyline. But what I really like is they are really earning or slowly building him being able to be full Jedi again or fully skilled. Because, you know, a lot of movies, it usually takes them like one fight scene to just be a little rusty, then they're back in the game. Where here, I'm like, oh, he is so rusty. Like, he almost let Leia die. Like, he is wildly rusty.
that shocked me, definitely, for sure. Because, I mean, again, if you've seen anything as far as Clone Wars or even the prequels go, his force abilities are like hella strong. Like Obi-Wan's got like super powerful abilities, and he's like 20 pounds of Leia, and it's just like, really, man? Like, come on bro, put your back into it.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think about the direction, Johnny?
I've liked the direction quite a bit. I mean, it's I think it's got a really, really locked-in sense of style, and it's got a smooth. I mean, you mentioned in the last one it kind of oscillating between movie and TV show kind of feel, and I thought this one felt more unified as a
more
movie.
cinematic.
Yeah, more cinematic generally, and I think like I really like what Deborah Chow's been doing overall behind the camera. Like I mean, one of my favorite aspects of all of these expansions is often that tone, that ineffable Star Wars tone that is bolstered by so many things like music and visual motifs and you know, beloved characters, animatronics, blah 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 blah. But you know, to go into this and to have Dayu, another place that's new-ish and you know can bring some aesthetics that evoke some other things. Like it's fun to look at these things and not only have all the Easter eggs, but also be able to look at other movies and say, okay, there's a little bit of Sin City here, there's a little bit of Blade Runner here, and like you said, even like the classic kind of, it's like Obi-Wan the professional, you know, and yeah, I'm curious to see how it builds and increases momentum, because I feel like right now it is a very plot-oriented show. Like there's some really nice emotional beats, and I just want to walk around more in that stuff, because when you know, they're balancing, and this is credit to the direction, like there are times when it's balancing an action scene with just, you know, emotive acting from Ewan McGregor, and both are just as potent. And I would love for the rest of the writing to kind of encompass that dynamic, because I feel like it's really there in the direction.
I'm trying to figure out what the definitive tone of the show is. That's not, because it's like they feel so different, these two episodes, but they're so tethered at the same time. It's like so serial. Whereas like Mandalorian seemed to like nail its tone right away. Like, you know, that you can literally just cue that song, that flute, and you're like, that's the tone of the Mandalorian right there. That's the Mandalorian. Whereas like the tone here, I'm like, what is the exact tone and the definitive pace of the show? Because there's some things I love. I love the direction with like the way they handle the lightsabers, like you've pointed out. There's such a menace to it. I think like the show is yet to broach. Yeah, okay, I'm going with that word. Is yet to get to the point of what the trailers elicited for me. Like the trailers elicited such like a cinematic, freaking introspective tone poem heavy.
Like you're really gonna open up this character and feel this transformation.
And it hasn't quite reached that yet for me. It still seems like it's a bit at odds with being that show and fun.
I feel like it in a lot of ways looks and paces and behaves like that, but I want it to speak like that. And I feel like in the writing they could do more character for the amount of plot. Like it does feel, for as cinematic as aspects of it are, very kind of straightforward in a sense, in a way that I'm a little surprised by, I guess.
Fight us, Ace.
Well, I mean, I just think it's early. I just think it's a little early.
Also fair.
It's been 90 minutes, Ace.
We are a third of the way through this. This is Act 1.
It's 2 episodes down. We got a lot of time. We got a lot of episodes. I feel like we can reach that by the time we get to the final episodes.
And I think once we get more Hayden Christensen in, there will be a whole other level, perhaps, that the show will go to.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys. Obviously, there's so much I want to ask you guys, just because I want to hear your perspectives. Obviously, we see that final scene with Obi-Wan awaking Anakin as he says Anakin, and he responds to it. I just think it's funny he responds to it when obviously, if you've seen Rebels and if you see any other media, Darth Vader just basically killed Anakin in his brain. Like it's like a person he doesn't acknowledge. It's like a completely different person. So the fact that he awoke as soon as Obi-Wan called him out in the Force, almost like calling to him, was something that was interesting to me, because to me it was like, oh, he's responding to his old name, which is Anakin.
But Rebels was later.
It is later. It's true. But I feel like that's something that he took on pretty early on after Revenge of the Sith. But again, I'm not sure exactly how early on. But how do you feel about him being in the makeup and having Hayden Christensen act through that? Is that...
I think that's a gift for a performer. I think that allows you to, like, when you have all that makeup, usually for an actor, that is a gift, because it allows you to lean into that. So I'm curious if he's just going to sound like Hayden Christensen. I mean, he's got the Darth Vader breathing. You know, like when he talks, what's he going to sound like? Because, you know, I mean, even in Return of the Jedi, when the mask is off, it sounds different. So it's not going to have James Earl Jones's voice. So I think it would probably oscillate between the two when he is. But I'm excited for it. I feel like there's a lot to unpack, because I think what Ewan McGregor is doing is something that is so much more emotionally stilted than I was expecting. Like there's so much of just getting stopped in his tracks and contemplating with his eyes. Like when he learns that information about Anakin, you know, that it's just such a mood right there, such a haunting moment. And it's like, it just makes you start, my brain starts firing. And this just feeds into what you're asking about. It starts firing with, my God, like, what is he feeling in this moment? Like, it's got to be a combination of fear, guilt, worry, and maybe there's hope, a chance. He wants to reach out to me. Like, there's so many layers to that reaction that's the shit about this show that I'm loving the most. When they just let the camera sit and and let the actors and the world do its job. Because in that moment, I was like, that's like brilliant acting, because you got all kinds of conflicting emotions reading across his face. It's not just like, I gotta fuck this guy up, you know. It's all these different emotions that you could see Ewan McGregor experiencing, and also being triggered. So yeah, I think, like, I'm excited to see. It's been a while since we've seen Hayden Christensen, to see if Ewan McGregor's doing this good of a job. Like, what are these two performers going to do servicing each other in a scene is what I'm looking forward to most. How do you feel about it?
No, I mean, I'm still pumped. I'm just curious if we're gonna see, you know, more of the makeup, more of him behind the mask, more, maybe even a flashback, which has been rumored, but obviously nothing confirmed. Or
they should get Jake Lloyd back.
Yeah, they should.
De-age Jake Lloyd.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Shrink.
That will do
Jake
wonders for everyone.
But I feel like, you know, you don't necessarily bring back Hayden if it is just to be, you know, that brief moment that we saw him. And I think we
gonna be a full character in this.
Yeah, we definitely have to see more for sure. To me, kind of going back to the tone of the show and kind of going back to what the show is accomplishing so far in this episode, I think Star Wars has always reached that both balance, but also kind of disconnect when it comes to goofy and serious. And if you watch, and I can really pinpoint this as a mega Star Wars fan who's seen the movies too many times. Every single movie has a lot of super ridiculously goofy moments. Even Empire Strikes Back, you guys can rewatch that one, and at the same time has some really deep and dense and dark stuff. So I feel like so far the show's doing a really good job of showing us the dark deepness with Obi-Wan, and then trying to goof it up a little bit with Kumail, with Leia doing a little like, you know, running off on her own. Like,
I love Kumail.
Yeah.
I thought Kumail was great. He was a wonderful welcome addition. I was half hoping it was a real Jedi too. I was like, that'd be a funny take on a Jedi.
Yeah.
And I'd be all on board. Piss a lot of people off. But I would still be on board.
How could this guy be that balanced if he's,
But I like the gray of him too. Like he's a con man, sure. But at the same time, he's still got a heart. Like he just wants to make money. But, when it comes down to it, if he's got to do the right thing, he's going to do the right thing. So I thought he was a great performer. And I love, like, even that moment. I think Deborah Chow was like a actor's director. You can see it in the most subtle moments of like when Reva reads his mind on where Obi-Wan is. And you just see this, like, shame come across Kumail's face of, like, I was supposed to protect him. That was the whole purpose. And now I've done the exact opposite. I thought it was a really strong moment for Kumail Nanjiani. Leia is a cute little girl. A little adorable little brat.
Precocious little one.
The most precocious thing I've ever
adult.
seen. Yeah.
I want to hear the song like, one way or another, I'm gonna find you. And he's just Obi-Wan chasing after her. I'm gonna get you. Just like waddling
someone's
around.
gonna make that super cut online.
Because she waddles like the little girl, like it's like a cute little like penguin waddle. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I was just like waddling. I was like, this is so hysterical.
There are times though where I could use a little bit of a tad bit more nuance with the writing of her. There are times where I do crave it. Where I'm like, she is this one solid note of this portrayal of this girl.
She's snapping at Obi-Wan.
She's snappy, doesn't seem is wildly fearless.
Yeah.
Like so to the point where I'm like, you can't be a real girl. Like this is your first time off Alderaan. You're in the slumps and the worst planet ever, apparently. And you're just like, and it's like there are times that I feel like there's not enough reactiveness towards out of like things that are truly like, if you're not feeling threatened at all, it's hard for me to feel worried for you whatsoever.
But I feel like that the way they set up the planet to me, and I think John was getting at it too, was really well done as far as showing all the creatures, even the side characters that had like two lines, like that little girl who was like, you want to buy spice, and then she was like, oh, give up on the girl, whatever. Like she felt kind of authentic. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I think the world they built was great.
Yeah.
I mean, like you don't get worlds like that in the other live action shows. A little bit of Mandalorian, it's what we crave from Boba Fett. And you get these kind of worlds in like Clone Wars and stuff, but to get it here, I think that's one of the that's why I really like this one more than the other one, because this is actually like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, and
this is cool to see. Yeah,
the creature effects were cool. We saw a lot of background characters that if you
name them all, Lace, that's why you're here.
There was one
checklist breakdown
specifically. It's like very specific. No, but there's a character in there that I want to say is called Weoslia, but I might be wrong. No, I think I'm wrong.
Moment of truth.
Sound like a goddamn idiot, Ace.
But it's the one where I think it is Weoslia from A New Hope, which is the many-eyed creature. And there's also...
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The one who bought the speeder off Luke Skywalker. But there was a lot of cool, like, moments in there for like for like a new rock stars.
Yeah.
Pause and frame, like, look at that creature, look at it.
Eric Voss knows he's all off the top of his head.
Yeah. If you pause right here at 22 seconds.
There was no research.
He never.
He knows it all.
All of these videos are improv.
Shout out to new rock stars.
What up, Voss? He's a celebration right now.
Yeah, I you know, it's a cool moment for Star Wars fans to see all those cool creatures, and creature effects behind the scenes. And I felt like the world building there, as I mentioned, that little girl who was trying to sell spice. I was joking around as far as the death sticks. I'm sorry. It was a very serious moment with that little girl.
I'm glad
She
I've
was
been
like,
waiting
"Spice
this
has
whole
killed our
time for you
family."
to apologize about
Yeah.
that.
This is coming from the guy who got excited to see the younglings slaughtered.
Yeah, I know.
Love it.
And I was like, oh, this is the death sticks moment, and I was like, no, it's not. It's not.
I mean, I there's a quality here that I'm really appreciating, which is something I've wanted to see explored a little bit more. And I like that they're capturing it through the wonder of little Leia, which is the droids are life. They're alive. And so much of the time they're just like disregarded, but they're actual beings, you know, in the Star Wars world. And sometimes you get characters who do treat them like actual beings, and sometimes you get characters who treat them like they're robots. And I really like how Leia captures that wonder of, no, this is a real
This is my
soul
friend.
here. There's a real soul here,
Yeah.
you know, which kind of feeds into the whole thing of like entrusting R2-D2 down the road with you know, transmitting a message to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's also, yeah, I mean, obviously that connects to Leia, and I think of Obi-Wan's connection to droids, which is not a positive one from what we've seen. As far as what I've seen or what I remember, R.I.P. R4. Not a big reaction when R4 died. That was that's Obi-Wan's astromech droid R4P17. As soon as he dies,
Did not remember those numbers.
Moment of silence for R4P17.
It's iconic because it's a droid that he's been with for like 10 years, and he dies in Revenge of the Sith with the buzz droids, and he's just like, oh my, and he's just literally, that's his only line in reaction to it. And there's also
oh my,
Attack of the Clones, his speech with Dexter Jetster, where he's
Refresh
like,
my memory here.
where Dexter Jetster is talking about the droids in the Jedi Temple reading symbols instead of the little cut marks on the toxic dart.
Vague memory.
Yeah. And he's like, well, if droids could think, there'd be none of us here.
Yeah.
So
freaking Obi-Wan. Racist. Droidist.
Not a fan of droids. To be fair, there was a droid shooting at him this episode. Droid bounty hunter.
Dude, Tamora Morrison, your man's back.
Yeah.
Oh, he sure had a cameo here. He sure put on a beard and sat down for an hour or two.
Again, Tamora Morrison doesn't do as much as you think he will.
I got so excited. I was like, oh, my man's back. I'm cool. Nice nod. I'm glad that you guys were on the same soundstage.
Why didn't they make him like a Rex or something?
I thought he
would have
was-
been so much more engaging.
I thought he was Rex at first. I can't lie.
I don't blame you for thinking he was Rex at first.
And then it looked like he had the 501st Clone Army.
That clone grew some hair, man.
Because that's the clone regiment that's assigned to General Skywalker in the Clone Wars.
I love how he just stays in the clone outfit.
I mean, if that's all you got.
Nothing but the armor on my back.
That's all he just stays in that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just like one thing that stood out to me from something you said earlier that I think is perhaps I can envision being the sort of most gripping emotional core of this is you mentioned the idea that, you know, we get to a point where Anakin is dead in Vader's mind is you know, a complete excision or thing of the past, and I feel like we meet Obi-Wan here in a position where he is kind of grappling with doing the same thing to Obi-Wan and just continuing on as Ben. And so I feel like that is a nice complementary internal struggle for both characters, because you know that, you know, there's going to be a flint spark when they both get back together, and you know that their reunion will probably, you know, is going to thrust Vader down that path of killing Anakin fully within. And I think, it's going to thrust Obi-Wan into kind of learning, I guess, the role of Ben in the life of Obi-Wan. But what is most exciting about that to me is the idea that we'll probably see that conflict and those shades of Anakin that are still left over, and see that through the transformed physical, because I keep thinking, every time we hear about Hayden Christensen and his involvement, I always think of the Hayden Christensen I remember, and it hit me watching this that no, this is going to be like a fresh, it's gonna almost be like he's playing a new character, even though it's built on top of all of this history. And so I feel like that's the thing, was while this start has been pretty decent to me, I'm into it and I'm excited to see where it goes. I feel like that's the stuff where I'm once we get to there, I could see this really ascending and transcending and really starting to sing from where we are now.
Well, kind of going, big Star Wars brain mode. In A New Hope,
please.
Obviously this is all canon, we can debate Inquisitor stuff, whatever. Also, we can debate the whole Anakin, Reva stuff as well, as far as how does she know that. But last time we saw them together in A New Hope, I mean, the first time we see them in A New Hope, obviously he has that famous line as far as you were the master, now I'm the master, that whole speech that he gave him as far as the last time we met, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I am the captain now.
Which kind of goes to show that Obi-Wan still kicked his ass, right? So are we going to see him kick Vader's ass?
Yeah,
because that's a question that I have down the line, because we see that he's a little rusty, but this is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan cooks people, cooks them.
I mean, they're gonna be building to that fight, and they said they're gonna have another fight.
Yeah.
So
and then obviously, again, I know I keep bringing up Rebels, I'm sorry guys, but in Rebels he beats Maul in one strike, because he's just I'm freaking Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
one of these episodes will be a montage of just him training.
I was gonna say Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
With the chains.
Exactly. It's just him
using the Force,
and then it'll end with him shaving his beard.
I feel like he would have to win. What's that? There was another line in A New Hope about the tremor, and it was that he says a tremor in the Force.
Yeah,
something like that. And I think that's kind of what what that moment was. What we just saw.
Oh,
with Anakin being in the, it could have just been a transition too, a match cut transition, or it was him sensing Anakin.
I felt like it was. I felt like it was. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what they're hinting at.
I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
I feel like, if anything, what this is doing is really allowing them a redemption, a new association for Star Wars and love for it. That they rightfully have earned, and look, this is better than the prequels to me already. All right.
Man, that's some big words, man.
I think
that's hard. That's hard to
fight.
Episode 1 and 2, I would say. The only Star Wars movie I truly don't like is Episode
Return of the Jedi.
Whoa.
Don't like Phantom Menace.
Wow.
And I know a lot of people.
That hurts.
I know the common one is Attack of the Clones. Is the one that a lot of people don't like. I prefer Attack of the Clones.
I love all three, but I love Phantom Menace, man. Phantom Menace is one of my all-time favorites.
I mean, I appreciate when I hear thematically what it represents in the world. I like
Maul.
I like
the Darth Maul scene.
Justice for Qui-Gon.
I love the context and the purpose it serves.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy my experience of the actual film that it is. That's but Attack of the Clones, I actually enjoy. Revenge of the Sith, I think is a genuinely a great movie. I love Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
that's a great film.
Empire, hands down the worst.
Empire is boring and overrated.
Yep.
And Last Jedi, number 1.
My ranking of all the Star Wars films goes in reverse release order.
Yeah.
Number 1, Rise of Skywalker. 2, Last Jedi. At the very bottom, we got A New Hope. Let's do this.
I swear, man. It's you guys invited the one Star Wars fan who likes all the Star Wars movies.
That's why I want you to be here, man.
That's the business. We want that enthusiasm.
Because that's
passion.
rare
So
in
if
Star Wars communities.
So if you don't like something, I'm like, That must not be that good.
No, I'm digging the crap out of this.
If there's a thing you don't like, then I'm gonna be. If there's like a moment you don't like, I'll be like, I'm gonna write that down.
It's the worst moment in Star Wars.
Worst moment in Star Wars history.
No,
There it goes.
I swear, I'm digging this. I just felt like that moment.
I got a reputation to preserve. I swear,
I love Star Wars. I swear,
love everything about this show. It's perfect.
No, because to me, I don't want to be like. I feel like I want to give Moses Ingram a chance. As far as her character goes, and that character is shot.
I mean, that's why I feel bad
Yeah.
whenever I say I have a hard time believing it, because it sounds like I'm saying you're a bad actor. So I'm like, no, I'm not saying that.
There's two.
Acting and Star Wars have a dubious relationship.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like that's fair because obviously we have Liam Neeson in there too, and a lot of people didn't say he was that great, even though it's Liam Neeson.
I mean, Natalie Portman's one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think she's that great in the prequels. Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I think she's great in the prequels, but I feel like one of those things where it's like there is the TV aspect of Star Wars has been it's beloved already with The Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
I think they just kicked it off so strong with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It was just so cinematic, you know.
And it's great, but I feel like they're still trying to get a foothold as far as like where they want to be tone-wise and where they want to be story-wise. Because I feel like at least the movies, say what you want of the prequels or the sequels, they know what they're trying to do and trying to communicate as far as tone and
Especially
as far
Rise of
as
Skywalker.
Story. Talking to the wrong man.
It feels.
I've never read my review of The Rise of Skywalker.
Did you like it?
I freaking loved it.
I liked it more than most people. I don't love it.
I love it. I think it's great.
I feel like they're still figuring out.
Your
I love you, Ace.
comments right now.
I love you.
I
Ace.
see you guys.
Most people don't get this far. Don't worry. If you got this far, leave
Don't
your
hate
thoughts.
me. I swear, I promise you, you'll find at least like 10, 50 people who are going to be like, I hate this guy. He likes Star Wars.
Dude, people hate me for whatever I don't
For
like.
liking Star Wars.
Star Wars is easily the community that I will get the. So I like this little lineup we have here.
Yeah.
Hardcore lover.
Yeah, I love it.
And you seem to be liking this more than me.
That is pretty decent. I'm waiting for it. I have mostly pleasant feelings, but I'm waiting for it to really like kick into a gear that I'm like, yeah, I can't wait.
I think what's funny is generally what you've seen us react to together. John generally seems to kind of be more into it than myself. Yet I know Star Wars more than John, which I find funny about our dynamic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like you guys watch a lot of good shows, though, right? A lot of quality.
That's why this show
Good
sucks.
variety.
Ace.
Yeah.
No, but I'm
it's
saying,
not all the other shows.
This ain't Breaking Bad. This isn't Better Call Saul.
This isn't Mad Men.
Well, I mean, I feel like if you do a lot of TV watching, reacting, it might like, I don't know, maybe you can rank it in a different version in your head.
Well, I mean,
It's not really a comparison.
No.
We watch so much different types that it's easy to adjust.
To compartmentalize.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's so easy to adjust. We'll have to like watch different shows all the time in the same day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really easy to just switch modes. Yeah.
Well, and Star Wars is fascinating because I feel like oftentimes when you're dipping into it, you're dipping in on multiple levels because there is, to me, a big picture of Star Wars and there is the minutia of Star Wars. And I feel like they exude the most confidence to me when they're diving into some minutia, and it's always the big picture where I'm like, I don't know if you all fully know what you want. And, you know, because there's been all that stuff lately about like, well, we've learned from Solo, we could just never recast any of these characters with other actors. Whereas, like, that's what we're watching right now is that happened, but it was more agreeable because clearly it's not a singular rule. And so, like, something like this, I'm waiting to see all the way through because I'm wondering, like, right now, in a big picture sense, I'm still not sure what this show is exactly doing aside from like literally filling in historical gaps. But in the minutia is where it gets me excited and where, you know, moments shine out that I'm like, that's really cool and I hope they build on it, you know.
Well, I think the main thing about Obi-Wan is the best. Like the plot stuff surrounding Obi-Wan the character is more of where I have that question mark that you're bringing up. But in terms of Obi-Wan the character, that's the stuff that I really appreciate that they're fleshing out. Is like, this guy had a, you know, after episode 3, which was the worst experience of his life. Then you hop in episode 4, he's like, I'm a wise old man, you know. And,
I went through a whole lot.
But this is, you're watching him do the grieving.
Yeah.
You know, you're watching him handle like how he got to that. It's not. It's to me, it's more than just a gap. I'm like, this is a like specifically Obi-Wan the character, not the other surrounding stuff, but Obi-Wan the character. This is such an important chapter in his life of how did he keep faith in all this.
And I feel like that's what we're building up to already with episode 1 as far as the Qui-Gon stuff. We get a little tease as far as that goes.
Talk to me, Goose.
We get a little bit of a...
You don't know that, right? He doesn't talk.
Can we just... I just want to take a moment to say I want a Tom Cruise Star Wars.
Please.
I want Tom Cruise in the universe.
I don't know if I want
in the
that.
galaxy far, far away.
I don't know if I can sign off on that.
May the Force be with
you. But I feel like we're leading up to, like you said, I feel like this is more of a character exploration. Everything else surrounding the character doesn't have to necessarily be spectacular for me, but as long as the character gets a little bit more deeper as far as his connection to the Force, because being a Force ghost is actually like being more connected to the Force. That's a big deal. So we see him being so disconnected, and we know that eventually he becomes one of the few people who becomes a Force ghost, which is not, which is a very rare ability. Yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of people from the outside, like, I had to learn that, that it's not just like, oh, you die and then you become a Force ghost. Like, no, it's like very special circumstance. Yeah. Much, intent and much, melding to and meditating on the Force.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we got to get these videos to you guys, so we're gonna wrap this.
By
the time you're watching this, you've seen all of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
We just want to give you time.
But thank you guys for being here. Thanks, Ace, for joining us on this weekly adventure, man. And appreciate your insights, and thanks to Headspace for sponsoring this video, and we will see you all next week, or if you want to watch more videos, we upload constantly, so we'll see you guys
every day.
Brian Perry. Brian, check this out. You know why you're perfect to shout out on a Star Wars related video? Check the everyone check this out,
guys.
Everyone around. I want everyone to check this out.
Ears.
It is generally thought to be of Celtic origin, the name Brian, but its meaning is disputed. Some believe, check this
guys.
out. It is to be derived from the root bri, meaning force. Oh, strength. But mainly the keyword force, because it's Star Wars. It's about forcing people to do things they don't want to do. That's why they say, may the Force be with you, meaning assert yourself, create dominance and power, will yourself into situations and get things from people without their permission. Force, may the Force be with you. So
that's what the Jedi had in mind.
Or it could mean, or Bruac, hell sleep pie. I think we should go with force and strength.
I think that's much better.
So, yeah, man, that's a good name meaning.
You are the spirit of the Force. You are one with the Force, Brian.
That's beautiful, dude. You are force and strength, and you give us strength by being supportive at our Patreon, allowing us to, because that Patreon helps us hire people to do stuff.
You're a big help, like a wandering help guy.
But stop forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. I almost went way different joke. So thanks for No, Brian.
That's not Brian.
Thanks for being here. And Brian's not that kind of force guy.
Nope. Brian's a consent guy.